that she would like to talk to Sarena or Daryl. She's like, I went down like that too, Kato, really suddenly, all at once. It felt like my head, it almost felt like internal underlying something. It felt like you get sick with something. The Sarena person, she goes, yeah, it went really suddenly and I went down all at once and it kind of just like seemed to like drain me, she makes me feel. And then Daryl says, hi Carmen, you'll be next. Hold on, this person tells me they passed before their time. You also have an older female, feels like a mother energy, or some jewelry. Oops, you can't see me writing down here. And then this Daryl says, like a father figure passed really suddenly. And then he goes, and then suddenly, and then this happened. So it seems like a collection of things leads me to believe he passes in some sort of like medical deterioration way. And then he draws me a heart. Maybe this is like a specific organ even. So, Trinity, let me know. Usually I don't bring in multiple. We'll try to stick to one in the future, but I decided to just go for it because I felt definitely drawn to those names for sure. What makes sense for who here? Would love to know. Daryl did, and he is my father. Okay, so we got the father figure. What ended up happening here? What did he end up passing from? Kiki, get down. Okay. Ooh. Hi, Caroline. How are you? Still thinking about your reading earlier. Sarena has more of like a darker or like shoulder length, or she always pulls it back kind of hair. Okay, Sarena is my mother and I don't know how she passed. Oh. She passed before her time. It all went downhill. Okay, so some of the sign symbols that she's talking about passed really suddenly. Okay, so let's say something came over her, let's say a random migraine. You know how I was almost like feeling like a headache coming on before I started your reading? She almost made me feel like, you know, she may feel a little nauseous or maybe feel like I was a little bit lightheaded. So did someone find her? Did this happen at home? Okay, and she goes, she says about Daryl, she goes, he had some kind of cancer and he started to go downhill very quickly. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then we're talking about Trinity's mom, Sarena here, and she was only 33 when she ended up passing. Yeah, I get this like little sharp, it's nothing bad, but it's like this little sharpness behind this eye here. So I'm like, oh, something like with our head. I'm not sure. It seems like an internal thing. And then, hi Cosmo. I hope you're doing well too. I was just thinking about you. Or Cindy, but you know the drill. For all intents and purposes, you're Cosmo. Okay, I am just going to have to know. So did someone find her? Did she pass it home? What is the speculation on what happened? Hi, Shannon. And don't forget, everybody, I do free live streams. Yes, I can connect with the child that passed. Yes, we just did that today. Absolutely. No problem. Okay, Trinity said, I was always told from an overdose, and I do think someone found her. Okay, so she talked, yeah, suddenly, and it all goes downhill very quickly. I'm talking about the inside of my body. I'm talking about headaches. I had to go grab some ibuprofen before this. She was the first person I brought on. Yeah, I think it would be safe to say, why are we starting riots in the street, Jordan? That's not what we're doing, all right? We're not doing it. I don't know what street, but you're on your own, buddy, and rummaging through people's trash cans is frowned upon, Jordan, all right? I don't know what your riot looks like, but if it looks like you're hunting for scraps, you probably shouldn't. Don't be that person, Jordan, all right? Everybody do your therapy and be good. Or you're grounded. Jordan, you probably need a timeout. But anyways. Okay, so going back to this reading, apparently there's nothing but wonderful distractions with this as well. This is good stuff. So listen, one thing. Sarena tells me we still have something that she wore, like an article of her clothing. Oh, she said she has a couple of things, and then we also have something like her ashes in honor of her memory, or a way that we can hold on to her. It almost feels like jewelry. It feels like something made in honor of her memory. Okay, and so she must have been gone for quite a while, because she's not necessarily having to take that responsibility. She feels at peace. She says the way she passes was really tragic. I just don't think it was intentional. I think that for, I don't know why I've said this multiple times, but like for all intents and purposes, I don't think it was intentional. I think it was, once you catch it, it's bad. I don't think it was intentional. If anything, it was just a habit that had formed and gone too far. Do you have any clothes in honor of her memory? And then, you said right now you don't know who the older female is. Well, she's, older, gives me a son, obviously has a hard time getting around toward the end of her life, passed from something that you could, simply medicate, that just comes up and gets you, and happens in her upper chest area, and then maybe someone has jewelry of hers. That's what she gives me, and maybe after this, you're like, wait a second, that was so-and-so, or you go to like show a family member and they're like, we know exactly who that is. I can't tell you how many emails I get about that all the time, so often. It's beautiful. All right, love you. Everyone's good. Everyone's at peace. I can see you. And I love that this is mom and dad, and they're both coming through. Mom said she gives you signs like butterflies, repeating numbers. I feel like you're pretty angry about the fact that you lost your mom. You feel like you don't have a lot of ways to necessarily remember her. It can make you feel frustrated. And your reading's gonna make my freaking head spin. I feel like I've just filled your head full of information, like, woo. All right, and then this guy's telling me, because this is like a lost relationship, and this one's telling me you guys, like you and your mom have similar personalities, so I can definitely see some natural tension in this relationship too, but yeah. And we have something from her celebration of life, whether it be like an obituary or a flower or a memorial of some sort. I don't have anything of my mother, and yes, I get frustrated about it all the time. Oh my God, she's saying having something of hers, having something in honor of her memory from her memorial. Okay, so with all this being said, you need to get something that reminds you of your mom, something in honor of her memory. Oh, my mom would love that. I would buy that for her. And then you get it, and you can have it in honor of her memory. You don't have ashes or anything? Personal question, but how did you get out of all that without even getting any ashes, you poor thing? You poor freaking thing. Someone was supposed to give me ashes, but they never did. I'm like, how'd you get out of it without even getting ashes? Wasn't that totally supposed to happen? Someone was actually supposed to give them to you, but never did. I was like, should she request them? She's like, someone likes to play the game. Whoever is keeping them from you enjoys the fact that they're keeping them from you, and the more that you ask, the more you feel toxicity. So I totally understand that, all right? Totally understand that. Oh, it's a long story. Oh, yeah, well, I won't get into it either. Fine. Truce. Truce then. Fine.